Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Prep Life Podcast. This is your founder and CEO of Glam Girl Bikini, Amy Enger. And today I am joined by Coach Brittany Gable. Brittany, welcome.
Hello.
So, just before we get started on our 6 secrets of building muscle, I wanted to hear from you how prep is going. And if you don't mind sharing, just where you're at, how many weeks out, and all that.
Yeah, so I am 11 weeks out to today. Cardio got bumped up. Food stays the same, so I'm happy with that. And I'm just more so focusing now, not so much on trying to lift as heavy as possible. Now I'm focusing more on just time under tension, just really making sure I feel the squeezes in my muscles and just focusing on that. And the past 2 workouts this week have been really good. So I'm ready for this next 11 weeks and we're almost in single digits. So I'm just getting really, really excited.
Yeah, that's awesome. So we are going to be telling you some secrets that you can apply to your bodybuilding lifestyle. And our first secret, not necessarily number one as in the most important, but number one secret is stimulate the muscle, don't annihilate it. So once your muscle has been thoroughly stimulated, more sets and reps aren't going to necessarily help the cause. You don't need to do like huge amounts of volume, and that can actually lead to like injury and overtraining. So make sure you're, really targeting the muscle. I'm going to quote Ronnie Coleman, where he limits the number of sets and reps per workout and makes it easier to target specific muscles and enhance their overall growth. So just don't be one of those lifters that goes to the gym and does countless exercises per muscle group. So anything to add there?
Yeah, it's more like I just said, how I'm focusing on my prep. It's more about the time under tension that you're doing rather than the heavy stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay. So when we're talking about like sets and reps, anywhere between like 4 to 6 sets would be good for hypertrophy goal. And then anything between 6 to 20 reps is a decent amount. So depending on if you're building, you're going to be like at the lower rep ranges. And then if you're kind of leaning out, you're probably going to be in the higher rep ranges, unless you have some sort of different like drop set where your warm-up set has higher reps, and then as you progress down the pyramid or whatever you want to call it, it will go lower. So do you want to take number 2?
Yeah, so secret number 2 is heavy basic exercises, build big muscles. So countless sets of the similar exercises, they're not going to really produce the same result as keeping just the fundamental exercises in. Like, so for us bikini girls, we always want to make sure we're trying to do hip thrust and RDLs, and making sure we're having those foundational moves, or what you think of like compound lifts, so like squats for instance too. So back squats, 6 to 20 reps, they're going to produce more muscle size and strength rather than doing 50 sets of like leg extensions, or for bikini like cable kickbacks, cable abduction, stuff like that, even leg presses. Those are more so those simple exercises. They're not going to be the compound. So like Jay Cutler advocates for is big weights with basic exercises. Biggest, strongest, best built champions of the past and present, they always incorporate squats, deadlifts, bench press, not so much for bikini, shoulder press, and bent over rows into training. And you can't build big mighty muscles lifting a bunch of auxiliary lifts and versus the foundational compound exercises. So it may get repetitive, it can get boring with the exercise variations, but it's just the basics to build that strong physique. So making sure that, you know, you're just progressing in each lift, whether your form's getting better, whether the mind to muscle connection's getting better, you're able to squeeze the muscle for longer throughout the range of motion. There's ways to make it fun and not boring. So that's what I prioritize in my training anyway.
Yeah. Muscle confusion is not a good thing. And if you say that your coach, gives you a program that just seems like the same exercises every time, they probably know what they're doing, because there are some really basic foundational movements that have to be incorporated every single program, because the bikini body is built by specific foundational exercises. Secret number 3 is to eat like a bodybuilder. You have to eat like a bodybuilder in order to look like a bodybuilder. And yes, this is simple, but a lot of people really just kind of screw this up with, if they are lacking protein. This is the most important element for bodybuilders. Protein's going to provide growth. It's going to maintenance and repair your muscles. And, if you're doing for females, about a gram of protein per pound of body weight, those are good guidelines to follow in order to stimulate good muscle growth, and just make sure you're getting it from high quality proteins. I think the best ones, because it has all 9 essential amino acids, are animal sources. And just be strategic if you're a vegan or a vegetarian. And then you're going to want to make sure you incorporate carbohydrates. You're going to want to make sure that carbohydrates are providing you with energy. They're helping with recovery, and getting good sources that have micronutrients, fiber, and making sure you're consuming your vegetables by several servings a day. And then, of course, fats are going to also help give your body energy. They're going to protect your organs, support your cell growth, which AKA muscle. And they're just going to keep, your body, you're going to be able to absorb certain micronutrients, such as fat soluble vitamins, and keep your body in a growth phase as well. So eat well, grow big.
And secret number 4 is getting 7 to 9 hours of sleep at night. So I see a lot of girls not getting enough sleep, and they just wonder why they can't grow their muscles. So you can't grow and get bigger and stronger if you ignore sleep. And that's quality sleep too. So requiring the recuperation of growth of our muscles. So when we're in the gym, we're not actually growing the muscles, we're tearing them. And so when we're sleeping, that's when our muscles are getting repaired, and that's when the growth actually happens. So when we're eating the proper amounts of protein, carbs, and fats, we're drinking enough water, we're getting enough sleep, that's when our body is able to be at rest and able to grow during sleep. So remember to get sleep, don't cut your sleep short. And yeah, so that's the most important thing. So you have to decide, are late nights out partying with friends, or having a bodybuilder's physique that turns heads wherever you go more important?
Secret number 5 is have a master plan. So, this is probably one of the number one ingredients. And I feel like if you don't have your goals set in front of you, it really makes it hard to get into the gym, get motivated, and have a why behind why you're training. So you need, to drive the ship to a destination, you need to have that in mind. And you're going to have to also have that rudder on that ship, where it's kind of guiding you and steering you in the right direction. So, in my opinion, having a coach to design your programming for you. And Brittany and I had this conversation this weekend. I was kind of explaining her new training block, and, telling her my reasons why I was programming certain things. Like, there were certain exercises that were more heavy because there are certain lagging body parts that we've really been trying to work on. And I think if you saw her recent Instagram posts about her growth in her upper glute, I think you'll all agree that our abduction work 3 times a week As much as you may have gotten sick of that, it definitely helped grow your upper glute, and that's going to really help you in the long run, along with like posterior delts and things like that. So, another good thing to do is obviously hire a coach. Make sure that they're experienced so that they're able to guide you with a proper plan that really lines up with what your goals are, and just write your goals down. That really is a good way to, when you put pen to paper, I think the statistic is you're 30% more likely to accomplish the goal by just putting it in writing. And I don't know the science behind that, but I definitely think that it's true when you have, when you're very solid in your resolve as to what you actually want, it's so much easier to get there. And, if you have the destination, then it's easy to draw the map. So just take action on your plan, stay the course, be consistent, and, everybody is going to have a few bumps in the road and setbacks. But, in the long run, you'll be very proud of yourself.
Yeah, and don't get in your head because that's what I do all the time. So that leads into the last secret is a winner never quits and a quitter never wins. So just remember this simple phrase and make it part of your life. So, having a lucky break or a successful event in life is nothing more than just being physically and mentally prepared to take advantage of that opportunity when it comes your way. So think and act like a champion and you'll be one. Eventually, that pro card will come, or that overall or first place, whatever you're wanting to work towards in that goal, that those will come, but you have to already feel like you're already there and just put in the time each and every single day. When you're hungry, don't overeat your macros, just be hungry, embrace that's your body, like losing the body fat. It's making your body get to where it needs to be. And those little tiny things adds up to that show day. And that's where the time really matters. So, never give up, no matter how many times you've tried.
Yeah. I mean, I would not still be here if I haven't, had set a goal a long time ago, and I keep persisting. And so I know that it's going to happen. I'm very stubborn. And I think that if you kind of have that mindset that every kind of thing that could be perceived as a failure is really just like a learning lesson and a way to get better. The sport is amazing in terms of just like personal growth, not just physical, but also mental, and really persevering through tough times. When you go through a contest prep, no matter if it's the first or your 30th, like me, I feel like every single time I've gone through that, I felt like there was a different obstacle to overcome, or, but every single time I felt like, this is amazing feeling because I had to overcome so many things to get there. And yes, as you evolve, like it does get like easier, I would say, but it's never actually easy, right? So there's always something. Everyone's always dealing with something, and I think it's just the way that you phrase it in your mind, that this is just like something that I can learn from, I can grow from, I can adapt and pivot. And I think that's like really what makes a bodybuilder, um, you know, gives them longevity, is if they can kind of see it that way.
Yeah.
But just my 2 cents.
Yeah, there's always going to be life happening no matter what your goals are. And if you let those things keep you down or make you quit or give up, you're never going to feel like, you've done what you want to do. And each and every prep, I've been through tons of different things and I learn more about myself. And that's what's really important about bodybuilding. It's not really about the placings and the trophies and all that. It's about learning more about yourself and becoming who you truly want to be.
Absolutely. So if you would like to give us any sort of suggestions, I think we're due for a Q&A for sure on this podcast. So I would love it if you all DM'd us on Instagram. You can find us at Prep Life Podcast or at Glam Girl Bikini. Shoot us, a question. we would love to hear from you and answer those and do our next session as a Q&A. And if you enjoyed this episode, please be sure to tag us. If you feel really moved by it and you want to pay it forward to those other people that are interested in the same topic, please leave a rating or review. If you would like to apply for our coaching, you can go to glamgirlbikini.com and hit the Get Started button. This is your founder and CEO of Glam Girl Bikini, Amy Anger, signing off with Brittany Gable. Thanks for listening, guys.